Nostalgia blindness can only get you so far, Chicken Little. Released in 2005, this was Disney's 46th flick to hit the big screen, and one of the first I ever watched. Unfortunately, it wasn't well liked upon release, and its reputation has only gotten worse with time, but, fun fact, this wasn't Disney's first adaptation of the story. In 1943, they released a short film of the same name, which, if I'm being honest, still holds up quite well today. The short, along with the original story it's based on, Henny Penny, is essentially an exploration into political philosophy. It's about how fear-mongering and mob mentality can be used as a weapon to sow discord within societies and eventually lead to their demise. It's also an obvious allegory to World War II and what was happening in Germany at the time.
The sky is falling. A piece of it just hit you on the head. The sky's falling! Hurry, hurry!
A hungry fox named Foxy Loxy represents a malicious outside force which turns a society of farm animals against their own leader.
Well, I suppose Cocky Locky knows what he's talking about. But listen, girls, suppose he's wrong. He's only human, you know. And if he should happen to be wrong, we'd all be killed.
There was no reason for him to dress up in drag. They can't see him. He just wanted an excuse to do it. And you know what? He pulls it off. By convincing them that the sky is falling, he lures them out of their safe farm and into his cave, where he feasts upon the poor sheeple. Or in other words, it's one of those short films where the YouTube comments under it will be filled with, "This is what the party that I didn't vote for is doing." I think it's important to understand what the message of the original story was to fully appreciate how much this film does not capture it. Now, to be fair, it's totally okay to change the meaning or message of a text that you're adapting. Any good adaptation should add something of value to the original work that distinguishes itself from it, but this film feels like it misses the point so drastically, and the new message it's trying to tell feels so botched that I can't help but raise me eyebrows and scratch me head. In the film, Chicken Little believes that the sky is falling when a piece of it hits his head, and he starts a mass panic. When the town finds out that the sky is not in fact falling, he's labeled a liar and a weirdo, and the entire town starts bullying him, because this is just the kind of town that will relentlessly bully a fucking child. The only people who still treat him with dignity are the other outcasts, like Ugly Duckling, a fat pig, and this fish guy who puts on face paint at one point despite always being in a helmet filled with water. Plot hole. 0 out of 10 movies, someone contacts CinemaSins. None are more cruel to him over this embarrassment than his own father, who never has his son's back at any point throughout the movie.
Is this what hit you?
Oh, no, Dad, it was definitely a piece of the sky. I'm telling you.
Piece of the sky.
No, Dad, no.
Quiet, son. This is embarrassing enough already.
And makes it pretty clear he cares about his own reputation more than the well-being of his son.
It would be better for you just to lay low, don't call attention to yourself. Yeah, game of hide and seek, except the goal is never to be found, ever.
He's probably earned the title of most hated Disney parent ever, which isn't necessarily because he's the worst, but more so just how the movie handles him. But we will get back to that. So as the movie goes on, it becomes increasingly clear that Chicken Little was actually right and the sky is falling because aliens are invading Earth. Yeah, the real bad guy in this movie isn't Foxy Loxy, but rather aliens. Foxy Loxy is here as a gender-swapped comedy relief bully character, or maybe he's just in drag again, I don't know. But she's not really relevant to the plot at all. Now, it can be hard to root for Chicken Little at times because his decisions are very frustrating. At one point, physical evidence that Chicken Little was right crashes directly into his bedroom, and what does he do? He hides it from everybody to investigate it himself.
Hey, what's wrong?
Nothing.
You sure?
Mm-hmm.
I thought I heard you yell. No.
I want to like you, man. Stop making this so difficult for me. Stop it. So because of this, the town continues to think Chicken Little is insane until a full-scale alien invasion finally proves him right. Chicken Little's dad only loves him again once he is proven right. It's genuinely kind of implied that if Chicken Little hadn't been able to prove he was always telling the truth, his father would never have been proud of him again. And yet the movie acts like his father is redeemed just because he apologizes.
You're never there for me.
What?
You were there when I won the big game, but not when I thought the sky fell. And not at the ball field, and certainly not now.
You're right. You're right. But you need to know that I love you. And I'm sorry if I ever made you feel like that was something you had to earn.
Okay, look. Not believing Chicken Little when he said the sky was falling with no evidence is one thing. It's perfectly reasonable for his father to have felt that way, but throwing him under the bus for the sake of your own reputation is something else entirely. The movie goes out of its way to portray Chicken Little's father as actively ashamed of him.
What if I joined the baseball team?
Please try not to get your hopes too high.
Okay, Dad.
It is a huge insecurity for Chicken Little that drives him to attempt to prove himself at every opportunity. An entire sequence of the movie, the baseball game, is exactly that, Chicken Little putting his own interests aside just to make his father happy. After an entire movie of that, of Chicken Little's characterization being defined by his relationship with his father, his borderline neglectful father, you can't just say that his father's heart was always in the right place and a little sorry excuses everything. That's just no. And I think that's why he's so widely hated, even though there are definitely other Disney parents who are worse. Whereas someone like Mother Gothel is cartoonishly evil, a lot of viewers might relate to having a parent like Buck Cluck, and seeing him get such a hasty and half-assed redemption may have rubbed a lot of these people the wrong way. Moral of the story, if you want to tackle an issue that a lot of viewers might find a little too real, make sure you do it right. Anyways, they realize that the aliens are only attacking because they lost a child somewhere on Earth. Because the aliens actually stand up for their children. Take notes, Chicken Little Dad. Then we get an invasion montage with some quintessential butt rock playing over it. So they figure they can bargain with the aliens by giving them back their lost child. Upon being reunited with their child, the aliens fuck off and the day is saved.
Well, then, this is awkward.
Yes, it is.
I suppose I should...
Put the big guns away?
Yes.
I cannot tell you how sorry we are for this whole misunderstanding.
Oh, dear goodness, we are so very sorry.
Yes, we are.
The movie ends with us finding out that Foxy Loxy has suffered brain damage and will now presumably be taken advantage of by this pig guy for the rest of her life.
Lollipop, lollipop.
She got her brainwaves a little scrambled during reconstitution, but no worries, we can put her back the way she was.
No! She's perfect.
Lollipop, lollipop.
Wait, what the fuck? The end. So the moral of this movie is obviously supposed to be, don't judge people, or in more modern lingo, don't cancel people. Everything the original story was trying to say about the dangers of fear-mongering is nowhere to be found. And that's no mistake, this is one of those adaptations that flips the original meaning of the source material in an effort to kind of outsmart it. Psh, you think fear-mongering's bad and a form of mob mentality? Well, guess what? Not believing the fearmonger is the real mob mentality. They should have listened to Chicken Little all along. But to me personally, this message doesn't feel as powerful or poignant as the old one. Ultimately, this just feels like a film that kind of misses the point. Oh yeah, and it's also very cringe.
Oh, no, not the book. How many have seen opening the book before? Close the book. We're not doing that.
And it's one of those movies that thinks it's funny just because it's being meta.
Here's how to open a movie. No, I don't think so. It sounds familiar, doesn't it to you?
Hey, DreamWorks did it, so now we gotta.
His name is Kirby?
They left him behind?
Darth Vader's Luke's father?
There are also a lot of issues in this movie's presentation. There's something audibly wrong with the sound editing. At points, sound effects are mixed way too loud and it sounds unnatural. This movie also chooses to reuse voice recordings at points.
But it big acorn level fla.
What did he say?
Big acorn level fla. Big acorn level fla.
And if that was not enough, this movie also reuses animation.
Loser!
Penny, happy Mallard.
Ugly duckling.
Where was I?
Ugly duckling.
Oh,
Is this a creative decision of some kind? I don't know, but I don't like it. Worse yet, this movie looks ugly as sin. I don't care that it's old. It's ugly. The character designs are whack. Everyone in the background looks half-finished. The way they move gives me nightmares. This is the ugly duckling of Disney movies. Even the continuity seems questionable. Like there's the shot where a rabbit and a cheetah are yelling at Chicken Little from out of this building, and then it cuts back to Chicken Little as he responds to them.
The sky is falling. Are you crazy?
No, it's true.
But suddenly they're standing right in front of him? Like, was there a weird time jump between these two shots? Or are they just copy-pasting the same character models? Oh, wait, they're just copy-pasting character models, aren't they? I think that's actually worse. Editing update, there is so much more copy-pasting going on in this movie than I initially realized. It's fucking crazy. If I can give this movie any praise, it's that it can be entertaining. And hey, at least they tried something new with this one.
I guess only girls are good at honest communication and sensitivity.
But at the end of the day, if they gave out an Oscar for cringiest motion picture, this would be a shoo-in. From what I gather, the film was originally going to be a little more similar to its source material, focusing on a plot where literal wolves in sheep's clothing infiltrate a summer camp in order to eat all the campers, with only the main character Henny Penny realizing what was going on.
The original story of Chicken Little as a girl was a character who had this overactive imagination, and she always thought something scary was going to happen.
That's not a burglar trying to break in. No. It's just the shutters blowing against the house. Yeah.
But at some point in development, the execs suddenly decided it had to appeal to little boys, so they forcibly changed the main character to a boy.
And Michael, the very first time he said, I think Chicken Little would be more interesting as a boy. If you're small, that's a bigger problem for a boy, and since he is our boss, he won. He won that argument.
Forced in a bunch of bad pop culture humor, removed a bunch of important emotional scenes in favor of baseball and action, insisted that there be aliens in the movie because that little boys like that, I guess, and effectively ruined the movie. A tale as old as time, song as old as rhyme, executives ruin the movie. You know that video you just watched? Well, guess what? It was actually a snippet from a larger video that you can watch here, if you have the time. I mean, I guess it's up to you. I would recommend you watch it, but you know, it's your call. I mean, I don't have time to wait on you anyways. I got birds to feed. But please watch it.